Now let's check out in more detail our viewport visualization. So if you go here in perspective, if you remember, we went into the top view, but as you can see here, there is many different views that you can adopt. So let's say we want left view. And now, since we changed this already, uh, you can see that it is not in the brush wireframe. So by default, it will be in the brush wireframe, and this can be really useful if you want to maybe move something that is behind the wall, but you need to move it from the side to be more precise. This wireframe is pretty good, so maybe if you go from the bottom, and if you're in the normal lit mode, we wouldn't be able to see our character, but if you go to the brush wireframe, you can see it, select it, and in this mode, if you hold right click, you can move and you can scroll to zoom in and out. So that's basically how you move in the orthographic view. And the normal, you can't use the WSAD and the right click movement option. Now another interesting thing that we can do here is if you go to viewport options and layouts, we can choose different types of layouts for our viewports. So maybe you want something like this. And if you click, you can see what happens. So if we have our orthographic and our perspective view, and if you click on our perspective view, we can click G, as you can see our icons disappear. But they do not disappear in the orthographic. There is no option for the orthographic view to hide the icons. But by using this layout, we can have multiple layouts to check out our scene in multiple ways, basically, and we can use different lighting modes for each viewport, basically. And another interesting thing, if your scene is maybe too dark or too light here, as you can see, it's a bit too dark. What we can do is go to lit, disable exposure, and now we can increase or decrease our exposure of the scene. Let's see, real time on. This should be working. Let's see here. If you disable exposure, you can set manual exposure so it doesn't go darker or lighter if you look at the shadow or the sky. So that's one option is pretty good. And with these layouts, you can choose, set up your layouts however you want. You can have one wireframe, maybe one in the lit mode and one in perspective mode. And to give you a lot of option and versatility in how you want to set up your viewports.